media.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. I hate to say it, but Jagmeet Singh has officially declared war, trade war, on the United States. This guy certainly does not speak for Canadians, although he thinks he does, even though Justin Trudeau is supposedly, allegedly intending to be on his way out in the next few weeks. I don't see that happening. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, he's starting to panic. He's panicking under this whole Doge thing. The whole Doge investigation that's going on in the United States. If you don't know about Big Balls, Sexley Tesla Inc., the probe going into the U.S. government and its funding, showing the efficiency, essentially. Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency in the United States. A lot of people are saying now that they want that in Canada. Well, Jagmeet Singh is making a plea. You'll notice that everything he's pushing against now is against Elon Musk. It's no longer Pierre Poilievre. He's tying Pierre in to Elon Musk to try and ban people from getting on X in Canada and essentially trying to bury their corruption, as Canadians are now asking for people to probe into that. As we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that if you're a fan of Doge, if you want Doge in Canada, what better way to show it than by heading over to our merch store? Hit the shop button down below. New Doge Canada merch is available now in our shop. It's on sale for the next 48 hours. Click the link, click the shop button down below, right underneath the video. The shop button will take you straight into the store. You can find the Doge stuff there. I've looked at every color available in men's and women's lines here, and they all look great. So make sure to go head over, show the channel some support, and get your Doge merch now. There's shameless plugs out of the way as we talk about what's happening with Jagmeet Singh. What has he done? At least we have Danielle Smith. We're going to get to Danielle later on in the video. Here's Jagmeet Singh sitting on the Clown News Network yesterday on CNN, talking about Elon's Musk, and how dangerous it is in Canada. In fact, Jagmeet Singh has proposed 100% tariffs on Elon Musk's Tesla company. I thought these guys wanted to save the environment. I thought they were all about electric cars. Now they want to tariff Elon Musk 100%. This just goes to show it has nothing to do with the environment. It's about lining pockets. Ryan Garrettson, by the way, a lot of people tell me the same thing, because I used to confuse the same thing. A lot of people think Ryan Garrettson here on Twitter, people confuse him with Mark Garrettson. Please don't do that. Ryan Garrettson has a great X account. I get a lot of my sources from here. Go and follow this account. He's great. Make sure to tell him the Fringe sent you over on X. CNN purposely put Jagmeet on to poke the bear, which he did in a big way. He, of course, took the bait, and now we look even more foolish. The Americans are laughing at us. Dear Americans, this man in no way or form represents Canada or speaks for us. I've said the same thing. We showed this on last night's stream. Take a look. Jagmeet Singh stumbling to say he's putting Donald Trump on notice. Take a listen.
What I would do is put in place a 100% tariff on Tesla, directly targeting Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk is proudly touting this idea of the 51st state, so let's hit back at Elon Musk. I've also said we should shut down the supply of critical minerals, another move that directly targets Elon Musk and his Tesla company. The batteries that he needs require these critical minerals. We've got tools, and we should be ready to use them. It's not something that we wanted to do, but if Donald Trump wants to bring this fight, know that we are ready. I'm putting Donald Trump on notice.
So first off, no, we're not ready. Second of all, we're going to get into the statistics with America later in the video. So keep around for that. Stick around for that. I love how he says, I would put 100% tariffs on Elon Musk. You don't have that kind of power. You don't have the ability to do that. You're sitting at the kids' table while the big boys are playing in Parliament, simply propping them up to stay in power. You have no power at the table. He literally has just poked the bear. I'm putting Donald Trump on notice. It makes us look absolutely terrible. What's worse is that as we get into what's coming, take a look at what happened yesterday. The NDP pulls out of the promise to voters to take down the corrupt Liberal government. Singh says if Trudeau and Carney want Liberals, the Liberals want the NDP, will support them for 2 more months to pass laws to protect, Canadian workers. They want this trade war. We've talked about this a number of times. There's no czar appointed yet after a week of Trump giving us a 30-day reprieve from tariffs. They don't want it. What you have to see, we talked about it on other videos, when you look at Doug Ford, when you look at Trudeau, when you look at the Liberals, when you look at Carney, when you look at all these clowns in this circus, they're all talking about the same thing, going to war with Trump. They're using the left's hatred of Donald Trump to garner them votes that they're losing to Pierre Poilievre by saying, we're going to fight Orange Man bad. We're going to go to bat. Take a listen to what this sellout Marxist has to say.
I think it sends a clear message of where we stand. And we want to make it very clear that if you pick a fight with us, we're going to fight back. If they want to recall Parliament, I've said do it. Recall Parliament and let's get to work to put in supports for workers. Let's recall it, get supports in place. There are going to be, by law, confidence votes at the end of March. I'm voting against the government then. We still have 2 months to bring in laws, protections, supports. Let's get those.
So what he's saying is he's going to support them for the next 2 months. So essentially, he's going to dangle the carrot on the stick that do what I say, or at the end of March, I'm going to war with you. What he's talking about support for workers, this Marxist, this communist wants to essentially print billions and billions of dollars, like they did during the pandemic, to give Canadians essentially UBI, Universal Basic Income. He wants Canadians to depend on the government so that people like him, pigs at the trough, can stay in power. The only thing they're saying that Donald Trump wants to go to war. The only thing he's been talking about so far is fix your damn border. Fix the border. Fix the problems that are flowing into our country from other countries. That's it. So rather than fix it, these guys would rather continue to pander, virtue signal, and push for their partisan politics than actually do what's being requested of them. You've seen it in full force. Here's another one from Riot Garrison, spotted in Toronto. Cheese strings, Black Diamond cheese strings, are now advertising boldly in Toronto. They're made with 0% American cheese. They're turning America against the woke Canadians. Again, this is in Toronto, one of the wokest cities in the world. Don't buy American. Buy Canadian only. Screw America. These woke cities don't speak for the rest of Canada. We want a resolution. We don't want to go to a trade war with anybody. In fact, we want prosperity. They're preparing for this already, and you can see it. Marty up north tweeting out, hot off the press, the Bank of Canada is getting ready to print so much effing money, they had to hire a second external deputy governor. It says here the Bank of Canada announces an appointment of second external deputy governor because it's already on the books. Mark Carney is getting installed, and this is their plan. This is their ultimate plan. We'll start a trade war with Donald Trump. We'll hand everybody free money and buy our way in for another 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, however long they want to do this. The problem is that a lot of the younger voting crowd are stupid. They think they're getting free handouts. What they don't realize is they're tacking on debt, they're lowering the value of our dollar, and they're impoverishing our country for years to come, decades to come, perhaps centuries. To pay back that kind of money, especially when you don't have an open market, is next to impossible. They're burying the country, just as Mark Carney did with the Bank of England during Brexit. They just want to destroy everything. Thankfully, we have Danielle Smith showing common sense. There's a lot of common sense coming in here. Of course, Danielle's been under attack recently for supposed scandals that are going on in a witch hunt. We've talked about that. It's all because this is what she's doing. She's making sense out of, she's making lemonade out of the lemons that were being given. She's trying to work with Pierre to push for a better Canada. Here are the facts. So for all those facts checkers out there, strong Canada-US trade means jobs, energy security, and economic growth on both sides of the border. Alberta alone supplies 56% of all U.S. oil imports, twice as much as Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq combined. That fuels America's refineries, which employ over 25,000 workers and turns $100 billion in Alberta energy exports into $300 billion in value-added products. The only thing I have to say about that is that we really are getting ripped off when it comes to how we sell our bitumen to the US and then buy back refined gasoline. This is the reason we need Energy East. It says, meanwhile, 904,000 American jobs depend on trade with Alberta alone, and Canadians spend over 7 times more per person on U.S. goods than Americans do on Canadian products. A strong partnership means a stronger economy for both nations. Let's keep trade moving. So she's not talking about, hey, all our options are on the table. We're ready to go. We're ready to fight Donald Trump. She's saying, look at the numbers. Let's look at the actual statistics. During the pandemic, they were always talking about the science. Let's look at the statistics of finances, shall we? Here's what the numbers say. 4.4 million barrels per day of crude oil and products exported from Canada are to the U.S. in 2023. U.S. spends $125 billion in energy exports to the United States in 2023. U.S. is also spending $16.8 billion in bilateral trade between Alberta and the Pacific Northwest states in 2023. 904,000 U.S. jobs are supported by trade with Alberta. So almost 1 million U.S. jobs are dependent on the trade that happens with Alberta. Well, the federal government wants to smack Alberta around, by the way, and say that we're not willing to be the sacrificial lamb so that they can print money and give it to everybody else. Again, people think I'm slamming provinces. I'm slamming governments here. People in those provinces are good people. Many of them chime in on our live shows. I have nothing but love for the Canadians that want this to end. It's the governments we need to hold accountable. That's the problem. It says here that more than 450,000 kilometers of pipelines already link Canada to the United States, enough to circle the Earth 11 times. Alberta supplies 56% of all U.S. oil imports, twice as much, again, as Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq combined. The U.S. uses 19 million barrels per day of oil, but only produces 13 million of barrels per day. Alberta exports approximately U.S. 100 billion of energy to the United States, while American workers refine it into $300 billion worth of value-added products. So it shows here refineries in these states, which use Alberta oil, employ 25,000 plus Americans. Look at all the jobs it's creating. Over here, she has the statistics of the products, while Toronto wants to say, hey, our cheese is 0% American, everybody. Damn America. Top 10 U.S. merchandise exports to Canada. Automotives, machinery, energy, electronics, plastics, precision instruments, aircraft, precious stones and metals, iron and steel products, miscellaneous chemicals. Top 10 U.S. merchandise imports from Canada. Energy, automotive, machinery, plastics, precious stones and metals, aluminum, wood, electronics, iron and steel products, and aircraft. Sounds like a very similar list. So if we're both benefiting from that deal, why is our federal government pushing so hard to go into a trade war? As you can see here, Canadians buy from the United States $8,750 per person US dollar, while Americans buy $1,200 per person in US dollars. So if the government wants to go in a trade war, with the amount of products that Canadians purchase, this is devastating. A lot of people say, the tariffs don't matter. It's not about tariffs. It's about the border. It's about a lot of things. There's a lot of gears in this machine that are all turning, but if one of them breaks, the whole clock goes kaput. We need to figure out a way to get the federal government to come to the table. We need them to stop going on American news networks, Mark Carney and Jagmeet Singh, and trying to provoke Donald Trump in order for us to go to war with them. What we're looking at here is the brink of insanity. Either something needs to happen within our federal government to call an election, to get people to parliament, to end this madness, or Canada on a whole is going to suffer in the end. Canadians Canada-wide, whether you're in Quebec, Ontario, Newfoundland, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, Northwest Territories. I know I missed some, like New Brunswick and PEI, but it's not a naming contest. It's to say we're all in the same boat. We're all going to suffer. I've seen people in comment section saying Alberta should leave. I've seen people saying Alberta 51st state. I've seen people saying that enough is enough. They're fed up with the government. They just want out. We have to talk to our MPs that want our votes in the next federal election. We have to demand better from them coming in if they want our votes. This is the time where they're puckering up. And much like Jagmeet Singh, they're willing to give Canadians pretty much whatever they're demanding if it's in high enough volume in order to get those votes. So for the people who say that their votes don't matter, this is the time your vote kind of matters the most, if anything. And it's also the time you have the most power as a voter to demand better from your government. At least that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think Danielle's doing a good job with Pierre? Do you think this trade war is on purpose? Do you think they're doing this in order to get their goals and distract everybody with the whole "Don't Buy American" in order for them to print billions of dollars and sink Canada further? Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you click that button, hit your bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where we go over everything that's happened this week in Canadian politics as well as world politics. We go over everything that we know that's coming up ahead and have some back and forth within our amazing community, joined by my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, as we listen to what you guys have to say outside of making these videos. We look forward to hearing what you have to say every Friday night, but we most importantly look forward to hearing what you have to say this Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.